Some of Scotland's most disadvantaged children face becoming part of a lost COVID generation if they don't get the right support when they return to school next month. A mentoring charity is calling for greater focus on mental health after it found many children struggled with lockdown and homeschooling.
So our most disadvantaged are being further disadvantaged. This report shines a light on it, but most importantly, starts to think and talk about solutions that we can put in place to build back better.
As politicians decide if it's safe to reopen Scottish schools, the full extent of lockdown on some of the country's most disadvantaged children is starting to emerge. It's feared the absence of classroom-based education has had a profound impact on young people, with many in danger of becoming the lost COVID generation, as Sharon Donaldson reports.
Schools in Scotland have remained closed since the beginning of lockdown in March. For disadvantaged children, classrooms are more than just a space for academic learning. They can also be a safe haven, or maybe the only place where they get the support they need. Now a survey of more than 1,000 of those young people has heard about their feelings on lockdown for the first time.
It's been really hard to stay motivated, and it's been really hard to just keep positive and to try and focus.
It was definitely a hard time because obviously you weren't allowed to go out and meet with pals and see other households that you wanted to. In school ended quite abruptly.
In isolation, mental health can easily be affected, so I think it's important that young people have someone to talk to through this pandemic to help them feel less alone.
Everything still feels a little uncertain, but as we are coming out of lockdown, everything is gradually and slowly going back to normal.
The research found 70% were unable to do any schoolwork. Many were too stressed. 1 in 4 had caring responsibilities which took over, and 2/3 felt low, anxious and stressed.
Education needs to be full-time for our most disadvantaged young people, irrespective of what's happening. Now, I believe there's a way in which we can do that, not just with school buildings, other buildings, but again, that's what the young people are telling us.
We're most concerned about the children's feeling of isolation, the fact that they weren't having contact very often with their friends, and little contact with school in some cases.
Today, the First Minister said getting back to the classroom is a priority.
If that means that some of the rest of us have to continue to make some sacrifices around other things that we would perhaps love to be doing but can't do for a period, then that will be in the interest of making sure we get young people back to school.
The educational and emotional impact of lockdown on our young people could be felt for many years to come, especially for those already at risk of falling through the attainment gap. Critics say the Scottish Government needs to do more.
Well, I think education leaders in Scotland have been far too complacent about the impact of homeschooling, particularly on disadvantaged kids in Scotland. The vast majority have not been able to access homeschooling. Where they have had any access at all, it's not been good enough. And these kids are now behind. They'll need a catch-up plan, and they'll need significant resources to make sure that these kids have not fallen behind permanently.
The Scottish Government's Education Recovery Group will announce tomorrow its guidance to help schools reopen safely on the 11th of August. But it could be a tough term ahead for teachers and pupils, trying to make up for the months of learning they've already missed out on. Sharon Donaldson, STV News.
Well, that's all from us for tonight, but I'm back with the late news just after 11. Hope you can join me then. But until then, from all of us on the team, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Bye-bye.